It is Ivy bound with an alternate technique for getting a hard math question correct. I am referring to, and I'll put it up, EduBank from the SAT suite, question number 263F9937. All right, you see it, a growth in culture, and let's get through why this is growth. First of all, it ostensibly doesn't look like a growing coefficient, does it? 2.5, 5.0, 1? And we who are used to this know that the exponent makes the difference. The exponent has increased by 1, so it continues the growth. It's like a 2.5, 5.0, 10 if you didn't have that scientific notation. Now that you all recognize is a doubling. 2.5, 5, 10. And it isn't a decrease as indicated by, well, if you were careless and thought it was 10 to the 5th. But don't be careless and recognize they even tell you in the question, a culture of bacteria is growing at an exponential rate. All right, it is doubling. And what you might recognize is that the 1.0 is an easy base from which to start. Now, I know there's 2 figures before that, but these are before you get to 1.0, a halving, a 1/4ing, if that's a word. So 1.0 is a nice launch pad from which you can now compare that to 5.12. I know, that's a weird number. But we who might recognize 512, and we're not necessarily 780 students, we now have an easy way in. 512 is a power of 2. It is 2 to the 9th. And while the 780 math student might have the exponential equation that the College Board does give in its explanation, not many people, even College Board members, are likely to come through with that equation in the less than 2 minutes that you have on average SAT math questions. So, for the not yet 780, but you're on the way, consider memorizing the powers of 2. A lot of you know that 2 to the 6th is 64. So, if you take it just a few more steps, you're going to reach that 512. 64 double, easy one, 128. Double again. In your head, maybe on paper, you're at 256. Double again, and you're at 512. Now, computer aficionados might recognize 512 for a number of RAM or number of gigs that is twice the power or speed of a 256. And let's take it one step higher just for the future. 512 times 2, what's that? 1024. And you can recognize that it is 2 to the 10th. If you recognize these powers of 2, then seeing a 512 and now recognizing it is 5.12 times the power of 10. Here, they're questioning 10 to the 8th. And now look at why doubling 9 times over, 2 to the 9th, makes a very good answer. We have our 1.0 on day 3. Double for 9 consecutive days from there, and you are at day 12. Not day 11, because you are going from 3 to 4 with your first doubling. That's 2 to the 1st. To 5, day 5 is your second doubling. That's 2 to the 2nd. So you are going to add 9 more days to reach that doubling, that massive 9 doubles in a row from the 1.0. If this has been helpful, I'd like you to take a few more things into the memorization bank, things that could easily come up on a future SAT. We've got these powers of 2. I'd like you to recognize prime numbers. Take it all the way to the 60s, 67 being the highest prime there. How about the squares? Taking that up to, I'm going to say 15 squared, that's 225. Learn all of them down to 1 squared. 3 to the 4th, recognize 81. That's come up several times. I could see them going 3 to the 5th, which is 243, or even 3 to the 6th, which is 729. Memorizing those might give you a nice way in when a formula eludes you.